Let's dive into the deep end with Oxydus, where solving the water crisis is just a splash away.
Next Pitch TV showcases the most innovative equity crowdfunding campaigns for the verdict of the crowd.
Meet the mastermind behind this innovation, Joseph Owen. Joseph's vision and dedication are set to make waves in the global effort to tackle water scarcity. Join us as we explore how Oxydus is poised to make a monumental impact on our world.
And a very good afternoon. Boy, you seem to have a regular zoo behind you there. My goodness.
Yeah, my bird.
Things are flying, obviously. Okay, just to be clear, I turned on the recording. Obviously, that's the whole point, so that we can distribute this and drive traffic to your campaign. So let's go. Let me make sure I got all that on. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, I'm Ralph, and I'm with NextPitch.tv, where we showcase the most innovative equity crowdfunding campaigns for the verdict of the crowd. Welcome indeed to our show. And I have to say, I've looked over the Oxydus video and campaign. Wow, you guys really hit the mark. Kind of ironic here in Southern California, which is where I am. We just had an enormous amount of rain. So it's kind of like, oh, that's the last thing that we need. But obviously, that is not a general issue there. So without further ado, let me ask you to please tell our audience what exactly Oxydus does and how it does it.
Well, we reached. We worked very hard the last 9 years doing research and developments on the atmospheric water generators that exist right now in the market. I sent my team in China. I sent my team in India. We bought the atmospheric water generators itself. We sent them to Israel. We brought them here to New York and to Pennsylvania. We studied them carefully. They turn out to be very useless, and we upgrade them, and we applied for inventions according to our upgrades, and we found out that the entire world actually needs these our technology, because we got method invention, system invention, and MPCT patentability worldwide. So we need the money to turn this technology into the patents to turn them into technology.
So just to be clear, if I understand it correctly, the name of the game here is to take water and purify it where it is not otherwise available, presumably not so much in the West, but in, say, the developing world. Is that essentially correct?
We are going to take the water from the air and turn it to water, correct. And there are 3 levels of clouds. There are the lower cloud, then you can see it under the skyscrapers. You can see the middle cloud when you fly, going from California to Florida or from California to Europe. And there's the upper cloud that it's closer to the hemisphere. And there is one more that it's creating itself to become a cloud, which is below the lower cloud, which is called the humidity, that you cannot see. So all that is, we have oceans of water above us, can soak planet Earth within a few minutes. So we need just to get up, get the water, instead of waiting for the rain to hoping for the rain.
So to be sure, what you're saying, if I understand it correctly, is basically you want to take the water out of the clouds. I mean, after all, that's what clouds ultimately are. The difference is they don't necessarily fall when and where you want them, or fall as water, I should say, when and where you want them. So, but the system does not use, let's say, originally sewage water or regular water at all. Is that correct?
Correct. It's water from outside of the box.
Yeah, literally. Boy, I mean, that is just amazing. Tell me, how did you come up with this concept in the first place?
Well, in the beginning, I just I am from Bethlehem, of the Palestinian territories. I am a U.S. citizen, and they have water scarcity. And when I heard about the atmospheric water generators, I said, okay, Joseph, let's buy these machines and send it to Bethlehem, help them out with water. And when I bought the machines, I discovered they are useless. It's a shame. They are toys. That's why when I started to upgrade and rejuvenate the entire atmospheric water generator, and I hope in the future that I will find a real competitor, not the toys that we are buying right now. First of all, they are very expensive. They are like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 60,000. Then as soon as you buy them, then you have to buy the filters all the time. You have to put them in the plug all the time. They are not for human consumption according to the EPA, and you name it. I mean, honestly, somebody has to do the job to get the job done, which I am doing it. I got it, and I got the inventions, and I have to turn them to technology.
Wow.
So far, I reached $162,000 on WeFunder, and I'm hoping to hit the 250,000 because the engineering firm in Connecticut that is going to do the initial work, or the initial the initial work is going to it needs $125,000, which is the initial prototype. That's what it needs. It takes 3 months for the prototype to be done, the initial one. BDO USA, which is one of the best companies on the planet that they do feasibility studies. I'm hiring them also to do the initial feasibility studies, because we want to be sure that these Tiva 7 version 1 will reach everybody, and everybody will buy it. If you see in the old times that the stove and the refrigerator, only rich people could have bought it, but right now it's in the hands of the rich, the poor, and the middle class, which it's necessity to every single home and commercial property. The same thing will happen with Tiva 7. We are building 2 types of products. Tiva 7 version 1, which is mobile devices that they will be ready, willing, and able to service any community needs it, and we will have built the first permanent station, hopefully in the West Coast, whatever, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Texas, all these the states that they need desperately water. And these are the 2 initial products that we are going to build. The permanent station will be about starting with 40,000 liters, and Tiva 7 started with 20,000 liters, the mobile device.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly Nevada and Arizona in particular would seem to be ideal in the sense that I'm guessing that the circumstances are somewhat similar to, for example, what they would be in the Middle East, for instance. That's my guess.
Correct. That's very correct.
What does surprise me is that there are enough clouds in the sky in those areas. In other words, after all, talking about the Middle East now, much of it is desert. And one of the reasons why it's desert is precisely because it doesn't get a whole lot of water. So,
well, Mother Nature is allowing the clouds to pass through the Dead Valley, the Nevada, Arizona. If you see how the oceans move, the same way the clouds are moving, the same direction. How and why the clouds don't rain in above these areas, we have to study it more carefully. I have the archaeology. I have scientists and I have engineers in the archaeological and engineering business that they are ready, willing, and able to study all that area as soon as we decide which area we are going to build the permanent station and Tiva 7.
Now, how did you come up with the name Oxydus in the first place, if I may ask?
Oxydus is the combination of the Exodus, which it's the Exodus in the Bible,
Yes.
and the water, and the water is sitting on the top of us, which is called Oxydus from the Exodus.
Interesting. And
Yeah.
what is it that led you to decide to try equity crowdfunding as opposed to conventional funding? Basically, to the extent that things work out the way you envisage, one would think that there would be a really rather substantial market for this with things like the United Nations and God knows all those kinds of operations that provide relief, especially in areas where there is not much water. So assuming everything works out the way you hope, that would seem to be an obvious market. And there's, I think, good money to be made. So why did you decide to try equity crowdfunding? I'm assuming instead, or did you get any conventional funding as well? I don't know.
Well, the actual bankers and the investors usually they are very happy to see inventions in hand, which it's very very important. Not one, not two, not three. We are building a portfolio of inventions. This is the first 50%. The second 50%, they are not happy yet because they want to see the product itself making producing the money. So the first 50%, I successfully I'm successfully we call it achieved, but the second 50% I need to achieve. So that's why I reached out to the people to invest, which is $100, $150.
Right.
It's up to them how much they want to invest. So now, as I said, I achieved the first 50%. For the investors and everybody else, but they want to see the second 50%, which is I'm working very hard to get it. As I said, the first $250,000 will be helping me out a lot to hire the engineering firm from Connecticut, which is a brilliant engineering firm, and it's the title from patent to manufacturing.
I see.
So
So basically, equity crowdfunding is your first step in this instant to convey the idea and prove that it is viable. And then down the road, you might go ahead and seek angel other than, in other words, funding more traditionally. Is that the idea?
Correct. That's very correct. That's very correct. And besides that, beside the initial, the $250,000 will help me to hire the initial engineering firm to do the initial job, the BDO to do the initial feasibility study, my marketing company that I hired to continue upgrading its marketing campaign. I mean, it's a big deal to hit the 250,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, I totally see that. The good news is that in equity crowdfunding, not only are you raising funding, but you're actually potentially anyway getting a whole bunch of evangelists. Because let's face it, the idea ultimately of liquefying the cloud, well, the logic, who can argue with that? Being able to do it, of course, is another matter. And but it is not, should we say, a moonshot. It is conceptually viable. Is it going to work? Nobody knows yet. But that's exactly what people are indeed supporting. And that, I think, is where equity crowdfunding really excels. People are looking to support innovative ideas, not necessarily to make a 10x return. Don't get me wrong. Everybody likes to make a return on their investment. But, you know, if you invest even $1,000 and it doesn't come back, well, life goes on. You know, it's not their life savings. And that, but potentially, if it does work, wow, that's very, very satisfying to be able to say, oh, I've been a little part of this by funding it partially. And that, I think, is one of the greatest things about equity crowdfunding, at least in my mind.
Well, let me put it this way. Getting inventions, not one, not two, but three, it's not easy. There are examinations in the process. There are a million questions in the process. There are research from the USPTO in the process. and if I'm lucky to get it or not, which I got 2 of them plus PCT recognition worldwide, which is very amazing. Number one. Number two, I think it's going to work very well. The reason is that, put it this way, last month, and you can Google it right now, you are in front of me, 100 elephants in Africa and Zimbabwe died from thirst. They've been wandering in Africa looking for water to drink. They couldn't find it, and they died. They don't die within a day or 2 or 3. It takes a process until they die. Not 5 elephants, not 10, but 100.
Wow.
While I'm sitting here watching TV, the nonprofit entities that are specialized for to help elephants bugging us to donate money and to adopt an elephant. And you tell me, sir, why those nonprofit entities that they specialize in elephant and they pay millions of dollars on TV ads, they allow those elephants to die. And all what it takes, few tanks of water and send a few trucks, whatever you can do, they can do it. Instead of paying the millions of dollars, a few trucks of water cost a few thousands of dollars. They could have helped them. But it's all about advertising, and I think it's corruption, in my opinion. I mean, just so you hear, I mean, when you're on TV and asking us to donate for elephants money, and at the same time I'm hearing 100 elephants died, I mean, you tell me what's going on.
Well,
but my technology, I'm telling you, it's going to work out. I got the inventions. All I'm asking for $250,000 to start the initial building the initial prototype, hiring BDO, and get to work. And I'm telling you, not only people will be benefited from my technology, also the wildlife, and hopefully also that we are going to straighten up the corrupt system. Hopefully, some of it, maybe we can't, but some of it, at least we can prove that our machines going to be dumped, whatever the elephants are, just to create water for them and drink water. And we will be monitoring these machines. I'll be sitting in my headquarters, watching all these machines, how they work, how they behave, how they act, hiring people. As soon as anything happens, they will jump to fix them, jump on the spot to fix them. This is what I'm going to do. I am not a non-profit entity that's saying something and doing something else.
I hear you. I mean, definitely the idea of extracting water from clouds, but also combining it with the technological capabilities that are available to us nowadays over the internet, over connectivity and so forth. That, I think, is a wonderful direction. And all I can say is, let's hope that indeed it works out, because it would be a real game changer. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. I hope all works well with the campaign. We'll go ahead and get this posted, and hopefully that'll drive a lot more traffic to the campaign so that we can get at that water in the clouds.
Yeah, we will. Instead of going underground, which is no, in Texas, they don't have underground water anymore, which is drained out. We will have it from up to go down. Yes.
Well, it's better to go up than down.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Have a wonderful day, no?
Same here, sir. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you, Kali. Bye.
Bye.
Join Joseph Allen and Oxydus on this incredible journey to make water scarcity a problem of the past and secure a future where clean water flows freely for all. To know more about the featured campaign, subscribe now to nextpitch.tv.